The Winchester story. It's always been a mystery. I need to uncover the truth about my parents. Was it the hunt for evil that drew them together? Or was it something more? To get to the truth, the real story means going way back to 1972. The day Dad came home from the war.
Love what you done with the place.
It was fine, Mom.
So what are you gonna do next?
I have no idea.
And the night he met Mom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Stop helping!
What was that?
That was a demon.
What's your name?
You don't want any part of this life.
You were raised to be...
A hunter.
You've been chasing your dad since he walked out our door?
Was my dad a hunter? Did you ever hear of Henry Winchester?
I'm Mary.
It's nice to officially meet you, Mary. You're looking for your dad too, right?
Dad was hunting demons, and now he's missing.
Sounds like there's answers in there for the both of us. I am kind of nervous.
Who's your friend?
John Lethika John.
Is it okay to be nervous? This is your first hunt. At least reach out to another hunter who's free. Carlos is nearby.
Our buddy from the alley found a fresh host.
Come on, rookie. Learn something. Nothing more hydrating than holy water. You want some?
I'm good, actually. Thank you.
Jimmy, Janice, Jim Morrison. Amen.
Do all hunters have such tough beginnings?
The only thing worse than how it starts for hunters is how it ends.
So you're all in, huh?
I am. When I was a kid, I thought there was a monster under my bed. And my dad always said, "Don't worry, son. I know how to trap it."
Don't go down this road, John. Maybe one day when you have kids, you will understand.
My whole life, I've been searching for something. Is this good versus evil?
Is a normal night for you?
Since yesterday, yeah. You know, you really are a lot of fun, Mary.
She's really a lot meaner when you get to know her.
There's a whole other world out there. A dangerous world.
I was born and raised a hunter. You aren't. You can walk away.
Saving people. Hunting things, Mom. This is what I was born to do.
Our parents' past has always been a mystery, and there are questions left unanswered. But I'm on a new mission, and this story is just beginning.
As long as there's a Winchester alive, there's hope.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I recently made a video sharing my general thoughts and reaction to the first trailer for Supernatural prequel The Winchesters. And I addressed a few issues I had with it and a lot of concerns and skepticism about it from my fellow Supernatural fans. In this video I'll go into more detail as I do a full breakdown of the trailer play by play and try to highlight some interesting details and references to Supernatural that could give us hints on what to expect from the spin-off series. So without further, let's get right into the video. From the very beginning, we get this simple and beautiful reminder of the main series. Then and now, of course, has been used as episode and season recaps throughout the series. It can also literally mean that Dean is currently telling this story in present time, most likely still in heaven, not like a flashback as some fans speculate. Obviously we have to wait and see. The real question is, where is Sammy? Hopefully he joins Dean soon.
The Winchester story. It's always been a mystery.
First of all, it's awesome to have Dean and his baby back on screen after almost 2 years of Supernatural ending, especially with Dean's tragic ending on Supernatural. Just a quick note about Dean's hair, it is definitely longer than usual. I bet Jensen just didn't bother cutting his hair shorter just for a brief cameo on a prequel series where he's mainly narrating. And of course, it is awesome to have Baby back, one of the main characters on the show. I wonder if Jensen is using his main baby he took home from Supernatural set at the end of Supernatural, or another one of the others he used on the main show. would be fun to find out from Jensen later. Would be cool if it is actually his and he simply drives it from home to set and back.
Did you see the car flying away?
I did.
So there is a car heaven.
Yeah. Yes.
What are you gonna do now, Dean? I think I'll go for a drive. Have fun.
Now to Dean's narration about the Winchester story always being a mystery. A lot of fans are criticizing the whole premise of the show being about John and Mary's stories, as he claimed that their story was told in details on the main show. But obviously Jensen knows the show and the characters much better than any of us do, so I fully trust his vision and desire to explore more interesting details in that story that were never told before on the main show.
I need to uncover the truth about my parents. Was it the hunt for evil that drew them together? Or was it something more?
We had Now, and now we got Then. We also have the logo of Men of Letters in the background, known as Aquarian Star. Of course, the Men of Letters will play a big role on the Winchesters. As John's dead, Henry was a big part of it early on. A quick reminder of what Men of Letters are: it's basically a global secret organization of supernatural scholars. They're basically the nerdier version of hunters who do a lot more studying and research into the paranormal. That's why it fits them perfectly. The boys find Men of Letters' bunker later on and become legacies, using the bunker's resources to aid them in their fight against evil and to continue the work of the organization in spirit. And they make the bunker, of course, their home, which I really didn't like at all, because Baby is their home, as Sam says in the episode Baby, and I wish they continued hunting on the road and staying at motels like the early seasons. That was the fun times. It was much more fun than seeing them every episode starting in the bunker and ending in the bunker. That got pretty boring, and yeah, I'm glad the bunker set was disassembled at the end of Supernatural, so when they do come back, it's not gonna be in the bunker anymore. Hopefully go back to the good old days when they just go on the road and, you know, hunt monsters like early seasons. And of course, season 1 to 3 are my favorites.
Let's go home.
You know what? We are home.
Now let's go back a little bit to the shots of a freaky monster John and Mary are fighting. That's one of the rare times we see an actual monster on Supernatural, as opposed to a human with creepy eyes and teeth, as was typically the case with Supernatural monsters, especially in later seasons. So that's actually a great sign. It reminds me of the Wendigo in episode 2 of the series. That was about the only time we see a Wendigo in the entire series, as far as I can remember at least. Oddly, never seen since. And here we have a shot of a Men of Letters book, and probably John wiping the dust off it. Or maybe it is his dead Henry before he went missing. Again, it's something that we didn't expect based on the main series, John learning about Men of Letters so early on, and also it is mentioned in the show's brief synopsis.
To get to the truth, the real story means going way back to 1972. The day Dad came home from the war.
Love what you done with the place.
It's fine, Mom.
So what are you gonna do next?
I have no idea.
Here we have Dean casting doubt on the origin of his parents' meeting. In the original series, we were told that under orders from heaven, Cupid had to intervene to help John and Mary fall in love, so the boys are born. And apparently, John and Mary couldn't stand each other at first, but somehow their love was still real and authentic. At least that's how they shared their feelings on the show, and it had nothing to do with fighting evil. But then again, that's what we have been told, which is now being questioned by their son Dean. So our prequel story began in 1972, as John had just returned home from Vietnam War. That background as a Vietnam vet was already established on the main series, but we haven't gotten into it in much details. Hence why the prequel has a lot more story to tell than a lot of skeptical fans are implying. He is back to start working on his family business at the time as a mechanic in the Winchester's garage in Lawrence, Kansas. We have an unsure character of a very young John in his late teens, not having any real life purpose or goals until he meets Mary.
and the night he met Mom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Stop helping!
What was that?
That was a demon.
And here we have a quick look at the night John met Mary. We have only gotten a brief version of the story of John and Mary's first encounter, particularly when Amara brought Mary back at the end of season 11 as a gift for Dean. We learn a brief version of how John met Mary in season 12 premiere, when Dean is trying to prove to Mary that he is in fact her own grown-up son Dean. He tells her that on March 23rd, 1972, she and John met as she just got out of a movie theater that one night and bumped into John and knocked him down, and they hit it off from there.
Mom. Listen to me, your name is Mary Sandra Campbell, okay? You were born December 5th, 1954, to Samuel and Deanna Campbell. Your father, he bounced around a lot for work, and you bounced right along with him, and you ended up in Lawrence, Kansas.
How do you know all that?
Dad told me. March 23rd, 1972, you walked out of a movie theater, Slaughterhouse-5. You loved it, and you bumped into a big Marine, and you knocked him flat on his ass. You were embarrassed, and he laughed it off, said you could make it up to him with a cup of coffee. So you went to Mulroney's, and you talked, and he was cute, and he knew the words to every Zeppelin song. So when he asked you for your number, you gave it to him, even though you knew your dad would be pissed. And that was the night that you met.
John Winchester.
August 19th, 1975, you were married. In Reno. Your idea. A few years later, I came along. Then Sammy.
And then I burned.
What's your name?
You don't want any part of this life.
Interestingly, we can see what seems like a movie theater sign in the background of that scene in the trailer of that night John and Mary met. So for fans who are still doubting the canon and continuity of the prequel, at least you see that this part seems to follow supernatural canon perfectly. The new thing the prequel is giving us in this fun, bizarre night is that John and Mary are fighting a demon, and Mary is possibly saving John's life from him as well. John's first time actually learning about monsters and hunting, and that will lead him to join her later on. Another thing to note about this scene is the issue I mentioned earlier with the trailer, the light-hearted, silly comedy tone it appears to have, even in the way John and Mary take out the demon. Although the part about the misplaced punches is indeed a bit funny, I have to say. I and many fans would prefer a more serious tone reminiscent of Supernatural, especially the early seasons. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and Mary is such a badass hunter even so early on. And yet another shot of Men of Letters symbol. We might as well have a Men of Letters show at this point, honestly.
You were raised to be...
A hunter.
You've been chasing your dad since he walked out our door?
Was my dad a hunter? Did you ever hear of Henry Winchester?
And here we get a quick shot of Castiel's intro on Supernatural. Does that hint to Angel's involvement in the prequel so early on? Especially Misha's return as Castiel. Everything is possible on Supernatural, as we already seen Castiel time travel with the boys to that era on the main show. I recently seen a Jensen and Daniel interview where they leave the door open for that, and the return of other fan favorite characters from the main series, either played by same actors or new actors playing younger versions of them. Either way, the possibilities are exciting.
Other actors from Supernatural on the series?
The great thing about this world is that nothing is off the table. We have ways of bringing back fan favorite characters and the actors that played them. We also have ways of bringing back younger versions of those characters. So, you know, the show's in great hands with Robbie Thompson as the showrunner. He's got wild ideas, which is exactly what we need for a show like this.
Would you say that you're changing canon or just kind of viewing it through a different lens?
I would say a little of both. We're certainly giving the fans what they were what was established on Supernatural, but we're just doing it in a way that maybe they don't expect.
Will angels play a role in John and Mary's young life?
Will angels?
Angels, because they did on the show.
Ooh, that is a really good question, and
Stay tuned.
TBD.
There are a lot of other interesting things to talk about in that sequence. So first, we get Mary being skeptical about involving John with hunting, which is actually consistent with her actions on the main series, as she hid her hunting life from him throughout their relationship and marriage till her death. At least that's what appeared to have happened.
I'm Mary.
It's nice to officially meet you, Mary. You're looking for your dad too, right?
Dad was hunting demons, and now he's missing.
We also have the missing dead theme from the original series, as both John and Mary's fathers, Henry and Samuel, go missing on hunting trips, which fuels the beginning of their hunting journeys. The same way John going missing at the beginning of Supernatural fueled Sam and Dean's journey to find them and continues their hunting lives, especially Sam.
Dad's on a hunting trip, and he hasn't been home in a few days.
Just excuse us. We have to go outside.
And here we see shots of this Indiana Jones looking character juxtaposed with Mary's narration about her dad Samuel going missing on a hunting trip, probably hunting the same weird looking monster we saw early on John and Mary were fighting. Although we never see his face and trailers aren't always straightforward with the footage they use, it is safe to assume that is her dad Samuel.
Sounds like there's answers in there for the both of us. I am kind of nervous.
Who's your friend?
John Luthika, Luthika John.
Is it okay to be nervous? This is your first hunt.
And here we have Mary introducing John to her hunter friends. First we have the character of Latika Desai, played by Nina Horshid. She is described as a fiercely intelligent and braver than she believes young hunter in training, whose research and problem-solving skills help her face her fears in battling dark forces. It's quite the heavy description there.
At least reach out to another hunter who's free. Carlos is nearby.
Our buddy from the alley found a fresh host.
Come on, rookie. Learn something. Nothing more hydrating than holy water. You want some?
I'm good, actually, thank you.
Jimmy, Janice, Jim Morrison. Amen.
Then John is introduced to the character of Carlos Cervantes, played by Jojo Filetes. I hope I didn't butcher that completely. Described as an easygoing and confident, Carlos is a natural when it comes to fighting demons and a boost of positivity for the team as it takes on more serious threats. Something to note about his character and scene fighting that demon girl is the ongoing silly humor theme of the trailer that we have mentioned before. He literally uses a squirt gun of holy water on a demon. As practical and funny in theory that sounds, it just comes off as too goofy and too silly for something carrying supernatural name. On the other hand, I like the demon exorcism black smoke effect they have used here.
Do all hunters have such tough beginnings?
The only thing worse than how it starts for hunters is how it ends.
And here we have that Indiana Jones looking character again, who's presumably Mary's dead Samuel if early trailer shots were accurate. It's also possibly a new character, referred to by Jensen in one of his earlier social media posts as the Duck, whatever that means, but he seems to be discovering what appears to be a Men of Letters symmetry, as we clearly see their symbol at the top. We also see John learning the tough truth about hunters so early on. It usually doesn't end very well, clearly, which he will discover himself later on. Again, we have yet another Men of Letters reference as we see Mary holding a box with their symbol, probably in the same place referenced earlier, some sort of Men of Letters script or mausoleum full of secrets that they will uncover. And here we get another cool shot of the real monster approaching young naive John on his first hunt. Again, it's really cool to have a real monster again on Supernatural since that lonely Wendigo. I hope it's not a one-off thing like Wendigo was on Supernatural.
So you're all in, huh?
I am.
And here we get a quick shot of John agreeing to join Mary's hunting team with Carlos and Latika. Another major difference from Supernatural where it focused on just the two bros who know and love hunting together. This is more of an ensemble cast as we see, definitely a negative point for me as I like more focused storylines on fewer characters. Think about the best shows ever in my opinion, The X-Files, Mulder and Scully, Supernatural, Sam and Dean, and now we have the Winchesters prequel. There's at least 4 or 5 people in that team and we'll probably add more people later. Definitely not super excited about that part.
When I was a kid, I thought there was a monster under my bed. And my dad always said, "Don't worry, son. I know how to trap it."
And here we get a cool throwback, or I guess we should say throw forward to Supernatural, with a monster under my bed line, John says, which is a direct reference to Sam's line to Dean in the pilot about John giving him a gun for protection from monsters.
Are you gonna come with me or not?
I'm not.
Why not?
I swore I was done hunting. For good.
Come on, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah? When I told Dad I was scared of the thing in my closet, he gave me a .45.
Well, what was he supposed to do?
I was 9 years old. He was supposed to say, "Don't be afraid of the dark."
Don't be afraid of the dark. What, are you kidding me? Of course you should be afraid of the dark. You know what's out there.
Yeah, I know. But still, the way we grew up after Mom was killed, and Dad's obsession to find the thing that killed her. But we still haven't found the damn thing. So we kill everything we can find.
Save a lot of people doing it, too.
Don't go down this road, John. Maybe one day when you have kids, you will understand.
And here we see John's mom and the boy's grandma, Millie Winchester, who was only briefly mentioned on the main series but never actually appeared on Supernatural, at least as far as I can remember. So we'll get to learn a lot more about her in the prequel. Just from the few clips we see so far in the trailer, obviously she's a concerned mom that doesn't want her son John involved in hunting in any way, and her words clearly foreshadow John's future. Millie Winchester is played by the Legacy's actress Bianca Kajilch. I hope I didn't butcher that name either. It's been a tough few names casting in the series so far. So the character is described as a hardworking and tough and has done the bulk of parenting in her family for the past 15 years. Funny enough, since Supernatural went on for 15 years. She has always worried about John, a Vietnam vet, would take after his father and wanted to prevent him from pursuing a dangerous life, but she is now accepting the fact that this is exactly what John plans to do.
My whole life, I've been searching for something. This is good versus evil.
Is the normal night for you?
Since yesterday, yeah. You know, you really are a lot of fun, Mary.
She's really a lot meaner when you get to know her.
There's a whole other world out there. A dangerous world.
And here we see a shot of John receiving a letter from Men of Letters, most likely involving his dad's disappearance, prompting him to go on a hunting trip to find him. And we see more shots of the ensemble hunting team led by Mary taking on the sewer crypt monster.
I was born and raised a hunter. You aren't. You can walk away.
Saving people, hunting things, Mom. This is what I was born to do.
And we of course get John's saving people hunting things iconic line, but he says what I was born to do instead of the family business, another direct reference to the boy's famous line on the main series.
This is why. This book. This is Dad's single most valuable possession. Everything he knows about every evil thing is in here. And he's passed it on to us. I think he wants us to pick up where he left off. You know, saving people, hunting things. The family business.
Our parents' past has always been a mystery, and there are questions left unanswered. But I'm on a new mission. And this story is just beginning.
As long as there's a Winchester alive, there's hope.
And we end on Dean restating his earlier point, basically that there is much more to his parents' story than we got on the original series, as he drives off Baby in a beautiful familiar Supernatural shot that still looks like an endless open road in heaven, similar to Dean's driving in heaven at the end of the main series.
Love this song.
Another interesting detail to note is that we see the Samulet hanging in Dean's car. We haven't seen it since season 11 episode when the boys first meet Chuck as God. Season 14 had a replica created by Joshua used by Cass to contact God, but that wasn't Dean's amulet. Could it simply be a nice detail Jensen wanted to add to Dean in a prequel, or could it have much more plot significance? Maybe Dean calls Jack with it to restore Supernatural after telling his parents' story, and that could be how the main series comes back. Or he had Jack bring him back to life for some reason, and this isn't heaven after all. The possibilities and speculation are endless, so we'll have to tune in to find out. We end on a nice note from John saying as long as there's a Winchester alive, there is hope. But I would also like to add that as long as there is a Winchester at all, alive or dead, there is hope. Because nothing ever stays dead on Supernatural, especially the friggin' Winchesters. Dean is a prime example of that in the prequel. Whether he's back alive or still dead but living on in a way in heaven, his presence gives this beautiful world hope for carrying on indefinitely and to keep entertaining us in different ways, exploring Supernatural world beyond the main series, but also getting back to the main series for many more seasons, hopefully someday soon. And that's what Jensen and Jared want, and that's what the fans want, and that's what the network itself wants. CW is open for their return anytime they please, as the network head always states. But there are also other avenues like streaming services for short order seasons. Supernatural never dies, and even when it does, it never stays dead. Thanks for watching guys, subscribe for more awesome wayward content. Until next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
David H says both of you guys keep talking about how the book isn't closed on Supernatural. How unclosed is it?
David H. The book is not closed on Supernatural. I mean, obviously there's a prequel coming out, but beyond that, as far as Jared playing Sam and Jensen playing Dean, you know, if a new book is released, then I think I would be excited to try and help tell that story.
What do you think Sam and Dean do in heaven? No need to hunt anymore, but they can do whatever they want. That's a great question. I think it's up to you guys whether or not you want to see what Sam and Dean do in heaven. Start a petition, call Biden, and where are you? You're in Russia? Call Putin and Biden and make sure that Superman goes back. I don't know. Does Putin watch TV? I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know the guy. So what do they do? They think about Olitka. I would love to see what Sam and Dean do in heaven. I think hopefully they finally have found the peace they deserve so much. So I like to think they're probably talking cars and sitting on a green cooler, having a beer or two.
Where are you? I lost.
I'm at Olitka, Hi from Russia J2, at Brittany Marriott at 3:17 p.m. What do Sam and Dean do in heaven? No need to hunt, but they can do whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's not the one I got. Oh, there you go. Hi from Dallas, Texas. Did you see that one?
That's the next one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're there. So should we go to that one?
Yeah. Well, unless you want to say what you think Dean does in heaven.
Well, I think we caught a glimpse of what Dean does in heaven. I think he drives around a baby and he pops tops on the front porch of Harvell's, and he probably goes over to mom and dad's and gets some lasagna, and then he goes drive, and you know I think he's just trying to live his best life. I think at a certain point he's gonna miss the life, and he's probably gonna get with Sam and tell Jack, hey, put us in, coach. And that's the Netflix or the Amazon or the Apple or the whatever streaming Hulu type of subscription you subscribe to. That's the reboot.
Or maybe we just like grab a few GoPros and get in the Impalas and roll camera.
and then just sell it to everybody. Hey, I know a production company that would actually do that.
Can we call them? Do you know their number?
I have their number. Yeah.
Amazing.
How are you still like this?
Not everything we did was because of Chuck. The blood, the sweat, the tears, man. That's us. What happened to Butch and Sundance? What happened to going out swinging?
Who knows? Maybe we even like do one of those reunion things and come back or do a movie, or I don't know. Maybe we just take like 3 years off and come back and start all over again. I don't know.
Yeah, I've said for a while that I'd love to see those boys again, you know? And we're in a crazy world with different things going on, and I do have a few ideas of how they could come back, and I think a few other people have a few ideas, and maybe some of them link up, and maybe there's a studio or a network or a streamer or movie house or whatever that would be interested in telling the story. But yeah, I hope we see Sam again. And Sam say goodbye to each other. Hopefully it's see you later and not goodbye, you know? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The show could go for many more years and still be a great show. Leaving not only the fans wanting more, but also us wanting more. Like, I hope this isn't the last time I'll play Sam Winchester.
Nothing ever stays dead in Supernatural.
Yeah, this is also the last time we get to see you guys as Sam and Dean Winchester.
Yeah.
For now. Fingers crossed.
We got work to do.
It came to the point of like, okay, I think this is the right time. Like, it's a weird decision. And then I'm gonna sell them out. When Jensen got to Vancouver 2 weeks ago, I have a text message from him. He's like, "Man, crazy being back in Vancouver. I feel like we could do 2 more years." And I was like, "Let's talk, man." Like,
to all the SPN family out there, thank you so much for taking this journey with us for 15 years. We love you, and we won't be gone long, I promise.
Thanks for watching Wayward Winchester. Subscribe for more awesome Wayward content. Till next time, as always, no chick flick moments. Peace.